What's up, everyone? Nick here from TechOrb, and on this episode of TechOrb, we're going to be going on more of a science approach, and we're going to be taking a look at the new Mars rover Curiosity and the Mars Space Laboratory mission. So without further ado, let's get started with this episode of TechOrb. Okay, so in this episode of TechOrb, we're going to be taking a look at the new Curiosity rover that is on its way to Mars, and also the Mars Science Laboratory. So basically, NASA did launch a new rover to Mars on November 26, 2011, and its expected date to get there is this August. So it's about an 8-month trip to Mars. Actually, the approximate date is August 6, 2012. It's going to be landing in the Gale crater, which is a crater on Mars caused by some impact, which they'll be researching when they are there. Kind of the major points that this new rover is trying to do is study the geology of Mars, also the climate of Mars, collect data for a possible future human mission to Mars, and also answer some questions about if there was life actually present on Mars, or if there is life on Mars. Now, this would be microbial life, bacteria, any kind of micro life, not necessarily humanoid type stuff, but just microbes that would be living in the water or under the dust or something like that. If you've heard about the Spirit and Opportunity rovers, this rover is much bigger, has a lot more scientific equipment, is going to be lasting, a lot longer than the expected date, although those rovers lasted far beyond their expected roving times. And also, this rover is probably over twice as big, actually, as the previous rover, Spirit and Opportunity, that were once on Mars' surface. And Opportunity is still actually going. Spirit did sort of have some issues with the wheels and stuff. A little about what it kind of has on board. It does have, it's planted to a good amount of cameras that are actually on the mast and actually on the rover. It does have a lot of scientific detectors and measurement and just a bunch of cameras and all this kind of scientific equipment. It was launched from the Atlas V rocket on November 26th from Cape Canaveral. You can watch the launch if you search YouTube or something for that launch. And actually, the way that it is going to be landing is via a heat shield on the landing vehicle, and also parachutes and retro rockets as well. So we actually do have a video of that landing, kind of an animated video, courtesy of NASA and Jet Propulsion Laboratories in California, that we would like to show you now. So without further ado, we will be showing you that video now.
Before Curiosity can explore Mars, it's got to get there first. The last stage of the launch vehicle gives the spacecraft a final push and spins it up for our 8.5-month cruise to the Red Planet. Ten minutes before hitting the atmosphere, the cruise stage separates and final preparations for entry begin. Hitting the atmosphere at about 13,000 miles per hour, the spacecraft begins to slow down. While slowing down, the spacecraft uses its thrusters to help steer toward the landing target. We throw off weights to rebalance the spacecraft so that it's lined up for parachute deploy. After slowing to about Mach 2, or about 1,000 miles per hour, we deploy the parachute to slow down even further. Once we're below the speed of sound, the heat shield separates and the spacecraft looks for the ground with the landing radar. Once we reach an altitude of about 1 mile, the spacecraft drops out of the back shell at about 200 miles an hour. It then fires up the landing engines to slow it down even further. Once we've descended to about 60 feet above the ground and are going only about 2 miles per hour, the rover separates from the descent stage. As the rover is lowered, the wheels deploy in preparation for landing. Once the rover is on the ground and touchdown has been detected, the descent stage cuts the rover loose. It flies away, leaving Curiosity safe on the surface of Mars. One of the first things Curiosity does after landing is to deploy the mast, which supports many cameras and instruments. Curiosity shoots a laser at an interesting target. This helps us quickly understand the kind and composition of that target from a distance of up to 30 feet. If the target's worth a closer look, Curiosity can drive up and inspect it with the instruments and tools at the end of its arm. The drill on the arm allows us to grab some of that rock and deliver it to the laboratory instruments inside the body of the rover. Those instruments can tell us even more about the mineral composition, getting us closer to understanding whether life could have existed on Mars. Curiosity will be exploring the red planet for at least 2 Earth years, and there's no telling what we will discover.
So as you can see, it is kind of interesting how they do actually land the spacecraft. It is a very difficult maneuver actually, but hopefully it does work. So I guess we'll just have to check back in 8 months in August. I will be doing a TechOrb episode on August 6, 2012, so in about a couple months, 4 months, 5 months. What actually happens with this rover, and we'll see what happens. So I'll just be doing a video then. So once again, thanks for watching this episode of TechOrb, and we will catch you later.